In this video, I'm going to tell you how I try to stay sane in a world that's going more insane every day. This is Gen X Mindset. My name's Greg. I'm a former radio broadcaster, currently professional photographer, also a stand-in and background actor in the film industry, and I'm an author of the book Timeless Truths, Hermetic Wisdom for the Gen X Journey. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. This was my journey into self-awareness through basically a breakdown that's turning into a breakthrough. And that journey is detailed in this book through psychology and through self-awareness and Hermetic principles. But also I took a test called the Big Five Personality Test. It's available online through several different ecosystems. I chose Dr. Jordan Peterson's self-authoring led me to the Big Five personality traits called Know Myself. And I highly recommend it if you're looking to know yourself. What I discovered, a lot of things I go into detail into the book, was one of them, I'm very high in neuroticism. I worry a lot, I fret a lot, and the news media is not my friend. So I basically looked at that and tried to figure out how I can establish, I guess, boundaries for myself and what I should really focus on. And from that, I came up with something I call the 4 pillars of focus that I need to keep in balance. If one pillar falls a little, I have to make sure I boost it up. So the number one pillar that I basically need to focus on is health. And I think everyone can agree we all need to be mindful of health, physical and mental, what we put in our bodies, but also what we consume on our social media feeds. And if you're a news junkie, I've been there, and it's not a good place, especially if you're high in neuroticism and tend to worry a lot. So health is obviously number one, physical and mental, especially in a stressful world that we live in nowadays, incredibly stressful. Stress has been, I guess, my biggest factor, but not just the stress, but coping with the stress. So learning coping mechanisms along with, diet, exercise, getting outside, all those fun stuff. So number one, obviously, look after your health. The number 2 pillar of focus for me, I used to say it was money, and more I've changed it into kind of security and stability. Money, I mean, we all know that money doesn't buy happiness, but not having money does not also buy happiness. In fact, it gives you additional stress. So money not for, elaborate status, but money just for security, to put gas in the tank, to put food in the fridge, and just to be prepared. I've had money, I've not had money. I prefer having a bit of money, but like I say, in the older times, the younger Gen X days of yours truly, it was to buy stuff because I thought stuff would make me happy, but stuff does not make us happy whatsoever. What does, once you get to a certain age of your Gen X journey, is stability and security and longevity, to be able to sustain all of the things that you want to continue to do in life. So maybe stop buying so much crap and just put a little more aside. But money, security, I think, is what I've changed it to officially on my 4 pillars of focus. Number 3 on the 4 pillars of focus is purpose. Have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, I have a part-time job, which helps with the security and the money, but it's not, I would say, my purpose. I love the Gen X ecosystem that we're slowly building here, the community that we're building through Gen X Mindset here, also on TikTok. I'm trying the TikTok and Facebook as well, and I'm going to tell you a little more about what's planned for the Gen X Mindset ecosystem at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. But purpose, what gets you out of bed? Me, I'm also highly creative. High in openness was another of my Big 5 personality traits. So I love to be creative. That's why I got into photography. The film industry, I mean, had I gone back in time, if I could go back in time, I'd probably be a camera operator or a director or cinematographer or something like that in the film industry. The radio industry was great for getting my voice out there, being able to, let my ideas flow through the verbal, medium of radio. Unfortunately, the radio industry has all but died. But right now, I love making content and connecting with people that have a lot in common. So that's the Gen X mindset. And the third pillar of focus is purpose. What's your why? Number four, the fourth pillar of focus, for me at least, your pillars may change, but for me, it's knowledge. And I've always tried to learn to play guitar. I'm still learning. I want to keep that right side of the brain exercise as much as the left side of the brain. But I'm deep into psychology. I love, learning about, the mind and how it operates and the self and Carl Jung and all that individuation and the Hermetic principles. If you've never heard of them, by all means, grab a copy of my book. I'll put a link down in the description below. But the Hermetic principles give you a good framework of how the levers of life actually kind of work. But another thing I love is history. The actual history of our planet and our civilizations. I think a lot of it is kind of been skewed, and maybe we're not learning the truth. But I think the biggest part of knowledge that I'm am loving is self-awareness and the fact that, nobody's coming to save you, but also you have all the power inside of you if you choose to learn about it. And another thing I learned through gaining knowledge is that I do not need external fixes. I do not need 10 guitars when two will do me just fine. So that, I guess, is the end of the four pillars. But I'm going to share the biggest secret to all of these four pillars. And it is, write them down. Put them on a little whiteboard, something you can erase if you change or want to add or something. Write them down, put them somewhere where you can see. That's my recommendation. Four pillars of focus. It's pretty simple to, get through your life. At the end of the day, just sit on the couch with your journal and say, what did I accomplish? Did I hit all the pillars today? If I didn't, then I'll hit one more tomorrow or the next day, but just keep everything in balance. Now, still with the Gen X mindset, my purpose, I've noticed that I'm missing my radio days of being a morning show host where I got to interview people, talk to guests, have co-hosts in, and do live on location broadcasts. So what I'm thinking of doing with the Gen X Mindset channel is going out into the community and having chats with fellow Gen Xers about what drives you. And maybe you've got four pillars of focus, or maybe we could talk about your first concert, your first car, your first love, any of that stuff. So if that interests you, by all means, please like, subscribe, and join the Gen X Mindset community right here on the channel. My name's Greg, and hope to connect with you soon.